The people in San Bernardino were communicating with people who the FBI had been watching, but because their phone was encrypted, because the intelligence officials could not see who they were talking to, it was lost. We have to solve the encryption problem. It is not easy. A president of the United States, again, has to bring people together, have a position. We need to be able to penetrate these people when they are involved in these plots and these plans, and we have to give the local authorities the ability to penetrate, to disrupt. That's what we need to do. Encryption is a major problem, and Congress has got to deal with this, and so does the president.
All right, that was Ohio Governor John Kasich in Vegas earlier tonight. The 2016 Republican presidential candidate joins us now from the spin room. Governor, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
I thought last debate your cadence and timing was off because I know you so well. I don't know if you felt that. And I felt you were more on your game tonight. I'm not trying to be rude, I just felt you hit your cadence tonight, and it was more the John Kasich that I know. Any truth in that, or am I way off base?
Well, Sean, what happened in this debate, just like the first debate that Fox sponsored in Cleveland, I had a chance to get my time. It was more orderly, and when things are orderly, you get an opportunity. And I became assured that I would be in a position of being able to speak. So I was able to outline, my position on ISIS. And by the way, the notion that the president was in Paris working on a climate agreement when he should have been working on an agreement to go after ISIS is unbelievable. And then I got to talk about Assad. I was amazed that our candidates did not understand that Assad has to go. And frankly, we're not going to get this job done killing ISIS with Sunnis. I mean, they have to be part of it. But America has to lead, Sean, and then the ability to talk a little bit about the economy. We got to grow our economy if we're going to be able to do all these things we want to do. So I felt very, very good about the performance tonight, and I hope people see that I'm knowledgeable and I can get elected in Ohio and I can govern,
Right. All right, but you said two things here, that Assad has to go, but I think there are valid points that have been brought up, and that is that, Gaddafi has to go. Okay, well, now Libya is pretty much in the hands of radical Islamists. It didn't work out so well. You can argue not finishing the job in Iraq. We should have stayed there, but now ISIS has cities like Mosul and Tikrit and Fallujah and Ramadi. And yeah, I think sometimes bad guys are in power, but the moderates never seem to really take over. I never find that the rebels are the people that we ever believe them to be. They end up wanting power just as bad as the dictator they're deposing.
Sean, I'm not for being policeman of the world, and I'm not for getting involved in a ground war to oust Assad. But you have to understand that it is an alliance. Iran wants to spread their radical Shiism into Syria, and the guy that they're propping up, of course, is Assad. And you know what the Russians are doing. The Russians have spent more time bombing the rebels than being able to fight ISIS. So I wouldn't go on the ground there, but I would support the rebels and remove him, which would be a real blow.
But aren't the Sunnis, aren't the Saudis, the Sunnis, I know they put together 34 nations in a coalition, but this is more representative of their fight. And they have been, noticeably absent time and time again. They, too, have fomented their own terror. They have been duplicitous in terms of dealing with terror on one hand, acting like they're allies on another. You talked about going massively like we did in the first Gulf War. Isn't this a little different, though, because it's not getting Saddam out of Kuwait? This is an enemy that is spread far and wide and in every nook and cranny and corner. I don't think it would be as simple, would it?
Well, I don't think it would be simple, Sean, but if we could get all the Arab countries, along with our allies in Western Europe, along with the leadership of the United States, and that was what was essential, if we could get Saddam out of Kuwait, which was not a good thing, this is totally unbelievable because ISIS is an existential threat to everybody. They're an existential threat to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, to the Gulf states, to Egypt, and I think that's why the Arabs are coming together now saying we have to defeat terrorism. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, and if we don't assert ourselves and bring the West along with the Arabs, I will tell you, you will remember I said this, Sean, we will pay a lot more later when we finally go aggressively than if we go soon. Because, look, I'm the only one on that stage. I served 18 years on the Defense Committee. I actually worked with Ronald Reagan. I knew John Tower. I knew Barry Goldwater. I knew all these guys, and I listened and I learned. Sam Nunn, another great expert. So we have to move quickly. We need good intelligence. The Saudis will settle Syria down. And in terms of Iraq, Sean, I will tell you, if Saddam did not have weapons of mass destruction, there's no way I would have gone there, because that was getting us into a civil war. So you got to understand the large strategy around all these things.
Last question. You talked about the encryption, and I agree with you, but there was even... We know in the case of this woman that grew up in Saudi Arabia with a Pakistani passport responsible for San Bernardino, she had posted multiple things on public media.
I know.
And as policy, Obama's Department of Homeland Security said, we don't want to invade the privacy of foreigners that are coming into America, and therefore we're not going to look at their social media accounts. Now, I could argue that everybody that's in this studio right now, probably when they got hired, their social media was looked at by the people that are hiring here at the Fox News Channel.
Sean, it is amazing to me that they said they weren't going to look at social media. You see, because we need the red flags. Oh, I know. It's just completely nuts that they're not doing it. And you need to not only be able to monitor social media, but you need to be able to look for red flags. And we had a number of red flags that popped up in terms of San Bernardino, but nobody ever moved it along. And then the encryption, the ability of them to communicate with people who are being watched while being undetected. It's got to be fixed, Sean, and it's going to take the technology companies, the legislators, and the president to get it done. We need presidential leadership. This is just not acceptable.
Governor, thanks so much.
Good to be with you, Sean.
Appreciate. I think I'm right on the cadence. You hit your cadence tonight. Your tone, the person I know. The guy that I worked with for all these years.
Hey, congratulations on that 82. Congratulations.
Who told you about that?
You did.
And then I busted my finger, doing MMA. Can you believe that? All right, good to see you.
No, you can't be doing MMA. Well, you do it every night. You do MMA, okay?
Well, this is verbal MMA. I actually do real MMA. So, all right, good to see you, Governor. Thank you.